What's up, guys? I'm watching Power Rangers, but this video was like 8 days later or whatever. Um, I should have done it a while back, but just so much came up, and I really didn't know what I was gonna say. I'm gonna try to remember everything because 2010 was a phenomenal year for me in my life. This is another story time. 2010. Well, the year started off, and it was really funny because in December 2009, I predicted that Edge was going to come back and win the Royal Rumble. And the best thing is that he actually did it. Um, and I predicted it like 9 weeks in advance. So to see that happen was really cool. I was in a relationship. That was probably the worst relationship I've... No, it was the second worst. But yeah, the road to that year was a good time for me because it was the holiday season. And then I remember I was in love, but the girl left or whatever. We wasn't together, but yeah. And the thing is, what made this year notable is because it was the first year that I was involved individually in a youth group. Uh, the youth group was led by a very nice, caring man, Pastor Terry, and people liked him in the church. It was a small church, but people liked him to the point where they asked him to do a service for adults as well. So he did one. He did one in the morning for youth on Sundays, and then he did one Saturday nights for adults. Well, the corrupt management of the church was paranoid because they thought that he would replace them, right? And it was a great year. Like, the guy helped me out with like my social skills and all that. But and I got introduced to that ministry by Chris of all people. Chris, the fucking kid that I had an issue with in my old video. But yeah, the church was corrupt, and they felt threatened by him because they thought he was fixing to replace them. So while he was on family vacation, they had a meeting, and they fired him, which sucks. I was so fucking sad. Everybody, I hate drastic change. I fucking hate it. And they say nobody likes change. I don't like it. I hate it. That was a very dark time for me after that because that guy was like a good mentor. Uh, and it sucked what happened to him. He shouldn't have left in those terms, but I ended up raising hell because I noticed that a lot of the people that claimed they supported him were selling out and they were selling their souls. So I didn't like that shit. So I called every one of the motherfuckers out on it. And so I became hated, even more hated for doing that shit. But I had to do what I had to do, you know. I had to stand up for my fucking integrity. But every era in that church, because they got new management, but either one was had its good parts and its bad parts. But I'll never forget like any of the moments I had over there as a youth with Terry and after he left with the new interim management that they had. The interim, I was a bit hated. Like, they had problems with me, but I was learning lessons that I should have learned like 5 years before. Now wrestling was terrible. Raw sucked. Batista versus Cena at WrestleMania. HBK and Taker again, stupid. Bret Hart versus McMahon, stupid. That match should have had blood. But it was a fun year because TNA was awesome. TNA had brought in Hogan. And a lot of people complained about that stuff, but I had never seen WCW like that. So to see the NWO was awesome. Like, to see the band. Bubba the Love Sponge was a piece of shit, but because he was in TNA, I listened to his show every morning. And back then. And then the thing is, every Tuesday morning he would talk about TNA and what he did over there. And then Hogan turned heel. A lot of people thought Immortal sucked. Most people just pretend to hate Hogan's run in TNA because everybody else does it. So I thought it was awesome. I liked his run. Now that I think about it, I do realize it was stupid, everything they did in 2010. But I do think it was... I liked it back then when I was a mark, but now that I think about it, it was stupid. And also, that was a year that I went to my first ever TNA event. I went to who the fuck is? Oh God, this guy made a tournament, so people are voting. Um, it was my first time going to a TNA event. I attended TNA Sacrifice 2010, and it was so weird. Like Jesus Christ, we drove there early in the morning. We got there. We waited in like this space full of wrestling fans for like fucking 6, 7 hours. Uh, and then we all had to run to like the gate, from a gate to like the Studio 21 or whatever. We go there and then there's like this fucking long ass line. Don't have to go to the bathroom if you're there, bro. Just don't. Um, the bathrooms were like if you guys watched that pay per view in 2010 where Taryn wrestled Madison Rain in a false count anywhere match, that those were the bathrooms when they went in there. So yeah, we waited in this big space for like 7 hours. We run from one gate to another gate. We're all running. We go into like, and this was like 5 years ago when I still remember it. We go to like this little hut, um, like this another gate. It takes us to Studios 3021 or whatever, and we wait in this long ass line. Like if anybody's here has ever went to Orlando or any other theme park, those lines you have to wait to go. It was something similar to that, right? And that shit was like an hour, almost an hour and a half. And then we finally get into the arena, the impact zone, and it's fucking small. They had reserved seats. We had to stand. It was hot. The seats blew cock because they were like bleachers. But the event was fucking awesome. I got the DVD. The main event was AJ Styles versus RVD. Rob Van Dam. And then Ric Flair was at ringside. Ric Flair. And Jay Lethal returned and he beat the fuck out of Ric Flair. There was some dude next to me like, boo, fuck you, Flair. Like, he just hated Flair. And, yeah, my family who didn't even watch wrestling, they had a good time. I also attended Sacrifice 2010, yeah. Survivor Series 2010, I went. It was awesome, but I wanted to see Edge and Wade Barrett win, and neither happened. So I left disappointed. But going to that was fun. And I had gone to that the night after I went to my prom. Yes, my prom was in November. I wasn't exactly like a senior, but I attended prom the night before Survivor Series Thanksgiving. It was a formal. That was the only time I had ever attended a prom. And the Nexus, bro. The Nexus, they formed and everybody was talking about them. They formed that summer, and everybody was fucking talking about them. Um, Also, that was the year where I went to Peru in 2008. I did not go in 2009, but I went back in 2010, which was an honor for me to go back in 2010. I think 2010 may have been like the best time I was there. Um, yeah, I think it was probably one of them. No, it's the second. Like 2005 was the best. No, third, because '08 was pretty fun too. But it was supposed to be a tradition. I can't believe we didn't keep doing that. But yeah, the Nexus formed, and they were going to be like the new NWO. But fucking Cena had to go ahead and bury them. You see, there were a lot of factions back then. There was the Final Four, uh, Fortune, EV 2.0 in TNA. Immortal, I said Immortal, right? Fortune, EV 2.0, the Final Four, Team Jeff Jarrett, or no, Team Flair and Team Hogan. Uh, and then in WWE, you had the Nexus and all that, but Straight Edge Society. But yeah, that was a fun year. Um, I started evolving that year because I attended youth groups every year since that, even if it was just what I'm doing now, like a leader or a volunteer. So that kind of paved the way for that part of my life. I want to do youth groups one more year, and then I want to step down forever from doing it. That's my goal. I keep saying that every year, but this is the year. The holiday season were pretty fun. The road to Halloween was fucking awesome. At my school, there was like a fucking dance like every month, and it was like a urban school. There were like white girls that thought they were black, Spanish girls who thought they were black, and black girls. They would all come in dressed up as hoochies, so I would dance with them like this. You know, the Thanksgiving that was fun too. It was the week of Survivor Series, and then of course the Christmas that we had was awesome. they had this little thing called Bethlehem Revisited at the church, where it shows you like an acting of Bethlehem, Jesus' birth. I had attended those for years, but that was the first time in my life that I actually worked at one, and I at least try to work out one event ever since. I'll work all five because it's a 5 day event. If I can, I'll work all five, but I try to make it at least one day a year. And yeah, it was a fun year, and it was a great lead into 2011. So yeah, that was it. This video was long, I know, because I went on for a while, and this video is late. I'm gonna try to upload it when I can. I'll have a lot of work to do. Look at all this shit. But I'm trying to make time for this because it's late. He's late. So yeah, he's black. He's black. He's white. It's stuck with. But yeah, 2010. I could go on and on about that year. It was one of my favorite years of my life, and I'm never gonna forget it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and talk to you later. Later, bitch. Trying to see if I remember everything. But yeah, all seasons in 2010 were fun. Spring, summer, fall, autumn, and winter. Yeah, they were all fun. Great time in my life where I did a lot of soul thinking and soul searching. So yeah, let me know how your 2010 was if you guys remember. If you can remember. All right, take it easy. And happy birthday, Isis.